Anthropic, $1 billion in revenue in January 2025, $30 billion by April 2026, 30x growth in 15 months. They just passed OpenAI on enterprise adoption. 34% of US businesses now use Claude versus 32% for ChatGPT. The company, founded by people who left OpenAI because they thought it was moving too recklessly, is now worth more on secondary markets than OpenAI itself. Meanwhile, OpenAI has 900 million weekly users. Can't go public. Testing ads inside ChatGPT. Just got sued by Apple for stealing hardware secrets. One of these companies will be worth more than $1 trillion. The other might not survive. The economics explain which, and by section 3, you'll see why having more users might actually be the losing position. Both companies sell the same thing: access to intelligence. Both charge roughly the same per token. The difference isn't model quality. Benchmarks trade leads every quarter. The difference is what they built around the model. Let's follow the money. OpenAI grew from $3.6 billion to roughly $12 billion in the same period. Anthropic went $1 billion to 30. 4x versus 30x. Same market, same buyers. Why? Because Anthropic focused exclusively on enterprise contracts while OpenAI chased consumer scale. One Fortune 500 deployment generates more revenue than 50,000 individual ChatGPT subscriptions. The RAMP AI Index, actual corporate spending data from 50,000 companies, shows Anthropic quadrupled business adoption in 1 year. OpenAI's share grew 0.3%. Not a typo. 0.3. The math. Anthropic's average enterprise contract is worth millions annually. OpenAI's average consumer subscription is worth $240. To match one Anthropic enterprise deal, OpenAI needs roughly 4,000 paying ChatGPT users. And those 4,000 users cost more to serve than the enterprise client does. This creates a compounding advantage. Every dollar Anthropic earns is profitable. Every dollar OpenAI earns from consumers is partially subsidized. As both companies scale, one builds cash reserves while the other burns them. But revenue alone doesn't explain why Anthropic is winning. The real question is why enterprise buyers choose Claude over ChatGPT when the model's trade benchmark leads every quarter. That brings us to the moat nobody talks about. When a CTO signs a $1 million AI contract, they care about one thing above capability: liability. Who is responsible when the AI makes a mistake? Anthropic built their entire architecture around one principle. Every decision the model makes can be audited, traced, verified by a compliance officer. The guardrails aren't just marketing, they're structural, baked into how the model reasons, not bolted on after. OpenAI's pitch: we're more capable. Trust us. In a 5-minute sales meeting, capability wins. In a 6-month enterprise procurement cycle with legal review and security assessment, auditability wins. Every single time. This is why Anthropic's enterprise share is growing 400% year over year, while OpenAI's grows fractions of a percent. The compliance department is the gatekeeper, and the safest vendor passes the gate fastest. Which means OpenAI needs an escape route. And they found one, until Apple blocked it. 900 million weekly users. Sounds like domination. It's actually the trap that's killing them. Every consumer query burns compute. Power users on the $20 plan consume more compute than they pay for. OpenAI subsidizes hundreds of millions of users, hoping scale converts to profitability eventually. It hasn't. This is why the IPO was delayed. This is why they're testing display ads inside ChatGPT, the most funded AI company in history, running banner ads. This is why they partnered with Shopify. Desperation for revenue that isn't compute negative. Anthropic never built this trap. Claude has fewer individual users, but each one pays more, burns less compute per dollar, and signs longer contracts. Their entire customer base is profitable from day one. OpenAI built the most popular AI product in history and discovered that consumer AI at scale might be a loss leader, not a business. That is the trap. OpenAI's escape from the consumer trap was hardware. Build your own devices. Control distribution. Capture the full value stack. They hired Tang Tan, Apple's VP of iPhone design, for 24 years. They recruited aggressively. Over 400 former Apple employees now work at OpenAI. Last week, Apple sued. Trade secret theft, coordinated poaching, access to unreleased hardware roadmaps through former employees who maintained server access after leaving. If Apple wins, and the evidence looks strong, OpenAI's hardware timeline stalls by years. Their fastest escape route from the consumer trap gets blocked. Anthropic doesn't need hardware. Their business model works through pure software enterprise contracts. No devices required. No supply chain. No Apple lawsuit risk. The safety moat is their distribution. Compliance departments send customers directly to them. Fewer users. More revenue. Faster growth. Structural profitability. No hardware dependency. No active lawsuit from the world's most valuable company. OpenAI wins the cocktail party conversation. Anthropic wins the procurement contract. And procurement is where trillion-dollar companies are built. The trillion-dollar crown goes to whoever proves the economics first. Right now, one company is proving them. The other is testing ads. Subscribe. We cover who profits and who dies in AI every week. Comment. Which side are you betting on?